power. Kea Simone. With Kea Simone. Kea Simone. Never lose yourself. Trying to find someone else. Hey. Women of power. Kea Simone. Women of power. Kea Simone. Women of power. Kea Simone. Never lose yourself. Trying to find someone else. Women of power. Kea Simone. Women of power. Kea Simone. Women of power. Kea Simone. Never lose yourself. Trying to find someone else. Woman with power. Woman with power. Say yeah, yeah. If you a woman with power, say yeah, yeah. Hey, women of power. Kea Simone. Women of power. Kea Simone. Women of power. Kea Simone. Never lose yourself trying to find someone else.
Hey, lovely people. It is your girl, Kea Simone, coming to you straight from the 313, and you already know what it is. It's all love. So today is the advice day. Yes. So I actually have 3 letters. Time permitting, we will try to read all 3, but if time does not permit, we will just read what we can. Okay? And then feel free to give your advice. Feel free to drop some comments. Let me know you're here and let me know your thoughts. Okay. So, also, in addition to the person that's writing this letter, just keep in mind that you never know who's going through some of these similar situations that we may be able to help out also. So let's just pull up the first letter. The first letter. Okay, so y'all know I can't see worth of nothing, so let me put my glasses on. Just give me a minute. So basically, the first letter is from someone that's been abused. This is like a real touchy subject, but we're going to go ahead and cover it. So let's just jump right on in. So it says, my abuser sent me a letter. Should I read a letter that my abuser sent me? So that's what the writer wants to know. So this is a very short letter. They got straight to the point. So the letter starts, I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. I removed the abuser, my brother, from my life a few months ago. I blocked his phone and told my parents about the abuse. I found a handwritten multi-page letter from him in the mail today. My wife opened it to tell me what it was. I haven't read it yet, and I haven't decided whether to read it. Any thoughts on what I should do? What would you do? Part of me is curious about what he has to say, and part of me feels like I shouldn't believe anything he says. And 2, nothing he says should change how I feel. So there's no point in reading it. Thoughts. So, it's okay. This is a tricky situation, but it happens so often where people are abused by people in their family. So we can't choose our family, we choose our friends. However, in this case, it was the brother abused. It doesn't say if it's his younger brother, so it doesn't matter the age. So one brother abused the other brother. It sounds like, and it took to the victim into adulthood to set up boundaries. So what happened between the abuse and adulthood? Because based on this letter, the writer is married. So if you're married, I'm assuming that you're good and grown. What caused you to finally, say, hey, I'm distancing myself from you? Was it a case where you started having children or start thinking about children of your own and you decided you didn't want your brother around? Because based on this letter, it sounds like that, it was swept up under the rug. We don't have a lot of information. Did your brother serve his time? Did he get any help? Although even if he did get help, I can still see why, as the writer that was abused, wouldn't want to be around the brother. It just sounds like it's not a safe place. And we should, I think, answering this letter, I can respect your decision to stay away from your brother, because if it's causing stress and anxiety in your life, you want to make sure that you're healthy, happy, and in a good place for your wife, and basically yourself. You want to make sure that you move forward. So, that's my question: is what happened to cause you to just distance yourself from your brother? Because you said in the letter it was a few months ago. So you're a survivor of childhood abuse. So 9 times out of 10, someone did this to your brother. Because most people don't just pick up these type of habits based on research. Yeah, it's sad that something happened to like this happened to your family. But what are the thoughts on so what did your parents say? Because you said you blocked the phone number and told your parents about the abuse. So it's kind of like, to me, I go back, take back what I just said, because it sounds like then he didn't go to jail or nothing. No one knew about the abuse, because if you just now blocked his phone number and told your parents about the abuse, that means that he's probably the same person. Who knows? He could be out still abusing other boys in your family, or maybe even girls. So I would strongly suggest that you protect your peace. If you don't want to read the letter, don't. If it's going to be upsetting you, what do you want him to say? Sorry, is sorry enough to make you feel better about the situation, or him explaining what happened? I would say, if you really, really, really just want to know what's in the letter, maybe you might want to get a third party or professional counselor, and you can read the letter with the counselor, and it's a safe place, or let the counselor read it first, and then you guys can have a discussion about it. um I'm just, again, sorry that you had to go through that, but I would just say, like, at this point right now, you guys are adults, and your brother, if he didn't get any help, a letter does not seem like it's sufficient. So again, I just don't think if you don't want to read the letter, don't. What is it going to change? Would he have written you a letter if you were still talking to him? Because you say you just cut off communication. So a lot of people are not sorry until you bring something up, and then that's when they want to go over and beyond to get you back in their lives. So that's just my opinion. If anyone else in the comments or watch this video later, feel free to drop your comments below. And this is letter one. So we're going to move away from letter one, and we'll move into the next letter. Yeah. So the next letter is, I'm scared of my wife's mother. The writer starts off with, I'm 30. Let's see if I can make this bigger. So the letter says, I'm a 30 female. I'm currently living with my fiance, 30. So this sounds like these are two women. We live in an area where the majority of her family lives close by. We can get in our car and it'll take less than 15 minutes to get to any of her siblings' houses. So know that they all live close. When we started dating in August of 2019, we were very upfront with each other. We wanted a family and wanted to move away from the area. Well, it's now January of 2022, and we're still here in the area. She owns the house we live in, and she's still paying the loan on it. Even though my name isn't on the deed, I also pay half of the monthly loan bill since I'm living here as well. I'm just including that because I don't want anyone thinking I'm freeloading or anything. We split everything in terms of bills. Okay. Here is my issue. 15 years ago, my fiance's mother participated in the murder of my fiance's father. And even though she wasn't the one that pulled the trigger, she was the one who orchestrated it. Well, I've always heard her family say when she gets out, she's not living here. I was under the impression that she would end up in a halfway house far away. My fiance's mother is not welcome to live with any of my fiance's siblings. Most of them have kids now, and they don't want the woman that murdered their father in the house around their kids. This is except for one of the siblings. This sibling hasn't been known to make the smartest decisions, but she just informed my fiance that she's going to allow their mother to live with her. If we got in our car at our house and drive to the specific sibling's house, it is a 2-minute drive, 3 minutes if we hit the traffic light. The fact that she's allowing their mother to live with her terrifies me to my very core. I've been up for most of the night with so many thoughts racing through my head. I'm so stressed out that she's going to be living close to us. I'm hopelessly scared. I started crying this morning. I'm so terrified of this woman. I don't know what to do. My fiance doesn't want a gun in the house, so I can't get one of those for protection. And neither me nor her have the time and energy to get a dog at this time. I have security cameras, but it's hard to put them on the outside of the house. My fiance doesn't want me drilling holes in the outside of the house, so I've been using double-side Gorilla Squares, but that doesn't really work as they fall down eventually. I'm really at loss here. I don't want to end things with my fiance, but the thought of living there scares me to the point of almost throwing up. I don't want to just move and leave her with all the bills. She can't afford it all on her own. And me leaving that would break her heart, and I love her. Any advice would be helpful. Edit, my fiance has said she wants absolutely nothing to do with her mother, but I fear this may change. I don't trust this woman. Okay, so my advice is I honestly think the writer, I think you are I think you are overthinking things and you're preparing for the worst. Sometimes we worry ourselves crazy about something that may never happen. Always preparing for the worst situations. And I had to get out of that always also because I used to worry about scenarios that never happen. All those just in case you want to be prepared, but you're really not prepared. So my advice to the writer is that you trust what your girlfriend is saying that she doesn't want to be bothered with her mother, but you're saying you're scared. So is the mother, we need more information. Is the mother threatening her? What's going on? Like what type of conversations will make you so afraid of the mother? I understand that the mother committed murder. Okay. But the mother has been in jail for 15 years, so she's did her time. However, you don't know who you're living next to. So is it just because because you like there's a sex offender registry, but other than that, you don't know if you're living next to a murderer. You don't know if a murderer lives on your corner. You don't know any of these things. So it's just like you're crying yourself to sleep, losing sleep about something that may not even be an issue. And is it because, like I said, I think it's just because knowing the fact. So I would suggest that the sister that you said or the sibling that doesn't make good decisions, I would have my fiance talk to her and, reinforce that, okay, I don't want her to have my address. So if if she doesn't feel safe, I don't know if the mother has written her since she was in jail and has the address. But if the mother doesn't have the address, I would just say, hey, don't tell her where I live. Let's just keep this, private, or, we don't feel comfortable. And in the event that the mother does have the address, then okay, then that means that the daughter has to, have a conversation with her mother and say, hey, okay, you're not welcome in my house if that's what she wishes. But yeah, that's a conversation that the daughter would have to have with her mother. But you're saying that the daughter says that she doesn't want anything to do with her mother. Like I said, that's still her mother, so who knows? But right now, you just have to trust what she says before you just pack up and just leave your fiance high and dry. So that's just my my advice. So yeah, I just think that you just just let it play out. If you start seeing signs that are not healthy for you, then at that point, you can go with it. If you don't feel safe, then at that point you may have to move out. But at this point, I don't think you should be, you know, jumping ahead and moving out and leaving her with those bills. She can't control that her mother went to jail for killing their father. She can't control any of that. So if you guys been dating for a minute, I'm sure she told you her mom was in jail, but you continue to date her and made her your fiance. So it's not time for you to jump ship. That's just my opinion. Anyone come in the comments later on, you can drop your comments or what you think the writer should do. I think this is like quite of a simple letter that the fiancés need to have a conversation and just set up boundaries. And then if boundaries are not respected, then sometimes you might have to call the police on a family member. I mean, if your fiance sincerely doesn't want her there. That's it. So again, guys, make sure you drop comments. If you like my videos, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. Subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you. So we can go ahead and read the last letter. Okay, so the last letter is, my girlfriend has a toxic relationship with parents. My partner is trying so hard to recover from abuse, and I don't know what to do. My girlfriend has been on and off, no contact with their parents for about a year now. It's been difficult for them to do this due to trauma bonding, and those parents being extremely good at guilting them into talking to them. My girlfriend was diagnosed with epilepsy last year and had 2 grand mal seizures a few months apart. They both caused huge lapse in their memory. After the first seizure, parents became extremely clingy, would call them daily, and would be convincing my girlfriend to move back to their house so they could take care of. After a month or so, memory coming back and slowly adjusting to being out of the hospital. My girlfriend cut them off for being controlling, and they had a breakthrough that their childhood was full of abuse from these people. Being with them through all of it, including their mother telling me to my face that I was not good enough, that I was not enough to take care of them, that I didn't do enough, that I should be fine during that month where my partner of 5+ years had a seizure. My distaste in these two arose massively. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make some of these words out. Fast forward a year, and again, due to trauma bonding, my partner has reached back out to her parents. It hurts because in our tiny apartment, I can hear everything and have to put headphones on so I don't get upset just hearing them be so manipulative all over again and taking advantage of them, missing parental support of what illusion of it they once had. It come to head recently that my girlfriend's grandparents are getting old. Girlfriend parents have been pressuring them to travel down to see them. Parents and grandparents, they're very close to each other. We live in another country. And using their grandparents' age and health as a way to make my girlfriend feel guilty. I don't tell my girlfriend what to do in any of these situations, and there has been a lot. All I do is weigh in my thoughts based on what I see when they ask. I've been through parental abuse myself, and I give advice, guidance where I can. Even if it's just pointing out where I recognize some form of gaslighting or the like. I don't want to come across as forceful, and I know it's their choice what they do, but it hurts a lot to see them get hurt over and over. The emotional distress their parents cause has led to countless fits and season after phone calls with their parents. Their mental state has been declining, and the fits are getting more frequent the more that they're in contact. I don't know what to do here. I hate seeing my partner in pieces, but I don't want to come across as controlling or like I'm putting my dislike of their parents before their feelings. Any advice welcome. P.S. They are getting therapy very soon and very open to the idea of professional help. So that you should have started with that. They're getting professional help. So honestly, you need to mind your business because again, with family people, you're not going to get tired until you get tired. Okay. So I tell people all the time, trying to force someone to see what you see or feel what you see until they're ready, it's not going to work. So in this case, I think you were bothered when the parents told you that you weren't good enough. I think that kind of stung a little bit. But again, who made you the counselor? You may have, had your own trauma bonding and using these different words. You may have read a couple of books. However, these are her parents. No matter what you do, she's gonna still love them. So you want to be careful with, you're saying you're not giving advice, but you really are kind of sounds like in this letter, or you're putting your opinions out there. So that's still just like giving advice when people say it couldn't be me, or this isn't, I remember this happened to me, and giving your scenarios. I think eventually it's gonna probably distance between you and the girlfriend because again, blood is thicker than water sometimes, not always, but a lot of times it is because she sounds like she's looking for something from her parents. So my suggestion is that you don't try to, keep talking about her parents, because I was in a relationship where my relationship wasn't strong with my parents, but when the person would put their little opinions in, then it was like, let the fight begin. Because now it was like, you're talking about my parents. I'm part of my parents. You understand? So you want to be careful with, discussing someone's parents in a negative light. Because again, she may end up resenting you, even though her issue is with her parents. Sometimes we have displaced anger. So you don't want to be the one to get her displaced anger because she's trying to work through some things with her parents. But the most important thing that you said in the letter is that they're getting counseling. So that's an awesome thing. So if they go in the counselor and there's some basically not telling truths, the counselor will be able to, pull and try to dig out and get the rest of the information or get some more. So yeah, I think you're worrying yourself, and like I said, you're in there with your headphones on trying to ignore the conversations. But basically just watch a movie, because at the end of the day, she's gonna still want her parents, it sounds like, in her life, and you don't want to be the reason or add more fuel to the fire. Hey, the Miss Creative. So those are the 3 letters. We are finished. If you missed any of this, please make sure you drop in the comments and put your advice in the comments, because you never know who's watching the videos and who could use your perspective other than the person that wrote the letter. So always make sure you drop your responses in the comments, even if you watch the playback. However, I also want to let you guys know I found my jar. On the episode of CMK last Friday, we talked about being positive. We talked about making this new year a positive year. And I know like it just happened. It wasn't like a New Year's resolution, because if you know, it's January is almost over. So what we decided to do is, if you want to join with us, I think this is a very great idea. So I found a jar, because first I was going to just find something. So get you a jar. It doesn't have to be like this. So get your jar, and every week put something positive in your jar. So whether, like for me, the positive thing that happened for me this week was that it snowed in Michigan and I didn't have to go to work. I mean, drive to work. Well, I had to go to work, but I didn't have to drive. So that was a blessing that I was able to, work from home. And, who knew like 10 years ago that I would have this opportunity to work from home. And again, that was a blessing that I didn't have to go out there trying to shovel my snow or wait, because my snow removal guy, he still haven't got here. So the little boy next door shoveling my snow. So again, those are blessings. Those are good things that happen in your life. So every week, just get you a piece of paper, write down what good happened in your life, something that you can be thankful for, and fold it up and put it in your jar. And then when you feel down, you don't even have to wait to the end of the year, because what happens is sometimes we forget what good happened. So when we be having those pity parties, and we all have those pity parties. And so when we're having that pity party, be like, oh my gosh, my life sucks. Oh my gosh, ain't nothing going right. Just pull out your little jar. Just pull out your little jar. Here's my jar. And just start reading until you feel better. I mean, like, it's easy to forget the blessings, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna start filling mine up. Mine is empty right now because we just came up. I just mentioned this last Friday, and I had to look in my house because I didn't make it to Michael's and find me a jar. You don't have to be fancy with a jar. Get a shoebox until you get your jar. Don't wait or procrastinate because you're looking for a jar or you're looking for a fancy jar. If you have to use an old shoebox, just find something, a Ziploc bag. Listen, put your good things somewhere together. And so when you finally sit down, you can, say, hey, awesome. See? So I'm going to go ahead and head out. My guys, have a blessed evening. And remember to subscribe, like, and share. And come over to CMK After Dark every Friday night, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Thank you. Have a good night. No, Myers. Good night.